Unique opening. Unique opening. This is the unique opening. This is a TaSTA, in case anyone doesn't know. We have a new ambition here in TaSTA Towers. In that we're going to try and not talk for 2 hours, as unlikely as that may seem. We've the goal is an hour, because I think an hour's long enough for podcasts. I really do. I can't think of many podcasts, if any podcasts, that I listen to that are the lead of TaSTA. So I understand people's pain and applaud their endurance if they do make it to the end of these things.
Yeah. See, I suppose it was before COVID when, during COVID when people were more at home, so they could, sit down and listen for longer. But now people are commuting, so what's the average commute? I think it's 45 minutes or something. So.
Yeah, I think it is, 44 minutes, 45 minutes, something to say, yeah. If you're lucky, I'm sure there's people who do much longer than that and scoff at the shortness of a 45-minute commute.
And wear it as a badge and honour. Oh yeah, I go from Wexford to Dublin every day for work. So you lose like 6 hours of your day every day.
Yeah.
Paying me really well.
Yeah, and 100 quid in diesel and petrol at the minute. Yeah, good man. I think like my podcast consumption has massively gone down over the last while too. I don't know what it is. It's not that I'm less interested in people. It's just that part of your brain.
No, just certain people. The people that you listen to. Yeah.
I almost have a list of people I want to listen to. It's with an app, in an app. That's I keep it all in one place. Yeah. Or sorry, you want to talk to me? Can you make a podcast? And I might subscribe to it, maybe. And then I'll probably not listen to it anyway. I used to listen to an awful lot when I was like drawing and stuff like that, but I tend to listen to like audiobooks and lectures and stuff like kind of now. But there's a kind of that fatigue. It's a similar fatigue with podcasts if they're too long that you have with films compared to TV shows, where I can go, yes, I can watch 6 episodes of this 44-minute TV show. Brilliant. A movie, 2 hours, no chance.
Why can't I do that? I'm the same, and I can't figure out why I can't. Like you lads were banging on about Midsummer yesterday. I'd never even heard of it. So like I looked it up and it's like 2.5 hours. Like what the fuck? I'm not going to watch 2.5 hours.
Every movie should be an hour and a half. That's it. That's the length. That's the length.
Do sequels, no problem, but like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think it's that the pacing is different. That's the only thing I can think of. That there is more of a when you have to kind of invest a bit more in the movie because it's slower. It starts slower. Whereas with a TV show, you 40 minutes or 22 minutes, whatever it is, get going. The murders happened. They're on the case. It's not just. I don't really tell me about your home life and your father.
I would say like last night I was moaning to you about that film. I was like, I'm never going to watch that. But still, I watched like 3 episodes of three last episodes of Peaky Blinders last night. Peaky Blinders is deadly, man.
It is to a point, then it gets stupid.
Oh no, I like it.
Once, whole spoilers. Once a certain character leaves, I lost interest in it. So.
Who leaves?
Have you finished it?
Oh yeah.
Or which I can't really say, but I'll tell you after.
It's old.
It's not. The new series is only out. So.
It's only out on Netflix, but it was out on BBC like last February or something.
Right, when Tom Hardy's character left, I didn't really care. So.
Oh yeah, when he comes back, he shouldn't have come back. He should have stayed dead. That's kind of silly. Oh. But he's deadly. Tom Hardy. He's the man.
Tom Hardy. It's like, still watched it. Still thought it was great, but it's like, you've jumped the shark here a bit. Thanks very much.
He's big on the Irish racism in the last season, which is good fun. Like.
Right. I haven't seen the last season yet.
He's talking about roasted paddies, and there's a bomb goes off. He's like, "Oh, roasted paddies!" Oh.
I wish he did a podcast. I definitely listened to that or audiobooks. I remember getting really excited one day in Audible where it said, and Thomas Hardy's audiobook. And I went, what? And I was like, Thomas Hardy, the famous author.
Yeah, Thomas Hardy. Yeah, no. Like, ye old 40 blah blah blah. Oh, what have I done? I wasted the credit on a 200-year-old book.
I know. Yeah, I'll never listen. It's the Red Book. Talking about audiobooks, I have to get. There's a new version of it where they've taken out all the footnotes, which is brilliant because it was unlistenable to the other way.
Why would you put that?
Why would you do that? Crazy. Why would you do it? Yeah. But it's supposed to be complete and probably thinking, oh yes, people really appreciate the in depth. We're going, no, finish the sentence at least.
Yeah.
Finish your thought there. And the footnotes in the Red Book are so long. It's like you can kind of go. It's like a Billy Connolly sketch where he goes like, "Remember when I was talking about the seaside?" No, I don't actually. Yeah.
Aye, that's something I've never tackled in the Red Book. I think I wanted Oh Jesus! What was the last Carl Jung book I read? The Archetypes one? No, not the Archetypes one. Aeon. Yeah. And so Aeon's kind of like I'm sweating book. It's like 30 odd degrees here today.
No such thing as climate change for the animal.
No, what do you call it? The because that's kind of a sequel, isn't it? Aeon. There's one before that.
Okay.
That explains more about the archetypes and all that. I want to get that one. But that's mad dear. It's like fucking 60 or 70 euros or something.
Yeah, there is a cheeky file going around of a Kindle version of his entire collected edition, which is if you can find that, don't, because it's illegal.
No, it's illegal. Yeah. Carl Jung's dead and he needs the money. Yeah.
I own is
to pop up in my dreams and give me fucking ecstasy tablets so I can fucking understand his theories. But Brendan Kastrup? No, he has got it. He totally understands. You should
Brendan Kastrup.
What did I say? Bernardo. Brendan Kastrup. Yeah, he's from Clare. I think his mother's Brazilian or one of them queer countries. I don't know.
Brilliant. Get out, Brendan.
Did you see the video I read of the American chap who brought his like half Peruvian girlfriend
to Mexican world or whatever it was.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, very good. Sometimes it's funny.
Yeah. Ion is out in audiobook now in case anyone wants to tackle it that way. It might be
Ion's a great book. Ion's fucking brilliant, so it is. And,
I would advise, and I'm sure Spud might too, is that you look at someone talking about it first. There's a couple of different series of people going through it, and it definitely makes it easier to digest.
Yeah.
Though, I had to unsubscribe to Boyo because, I don't know, there's something strange going on now.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Something very... Like, in the last 3 videos, he's topless. Why is he topless? Why?
Yeah. You live in Ireland, it's not that warm.
Yeah, and then somebody, the way on, if you, God forbid, you ever look at YouTube, your subscriptions on the app, and it shows all like they're trying to be Twitter as well. There's some slightly problematic statements coming out of Oberboyo that I found.
That's not good.
Just not necessarily. Now that's unfair, but you can kind of go, what exactly is your point there? No, that's, you can just, it's not that it's problematic, but you can go, you're one step away from seeing something ridiculous here.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It seems to be when you have that trajectory of the Jordan Peterson, you have to have the public nervous breakdown at some point. Sure, the other guy he used to do it with, but he got into the no FAP even.
No FAP November and all that kind of.
Yeah, and went off with the guy, the psychologist with the wig and the wife that wasn't allowed to talk. Yeah, that was all very strange.
Weird ideas of what a man should be, and it's like, what? Like, your idea of a man sounds like a dick. So,
yeah.
I don't want to be like that for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's the traditionalist conservative type thing, isn't it? That's bleeding through.
But surely, like, God, there must be a moment where conservatives realise, shite, there was no golden age. There never was, like.
But that's never happening. Like, because I mean, if we were both conservatives, our golden age is probably going to be different anyway. So, yours the 50s, mine's the 20s. Someone else's is
like. Yeah. I remember. Where was I? I was only young. I was fucking 7, 8, and I was in my granny's house, and she used to have these. Half the village would fucking come in and see her some days. Everyone come in for tea, which is tea.
Cup on tea.
And they all play that dance. I'll have a cup of tea. Oh, no, I won't. I'm just off. I have a few messages, which in Ireland means I'm doing the grocery shopping or I'm going shopping. I have a few messages.
Messages in the press. Put the messages in the press.
What the fuck are you talking about? Messages. You know what I mean? I didn't understand this for ages. So no, I've messages to do now, Breda. I can't stop. Go on, you'd have a quick cup. No, I won't. Come on, you have a cup of tea. All right then. So it's always 3. It's always 3, and like
it's the breaking point.
Politely in Ireland, you have to say no the first 2. You know what I mean? And if the person doesn't offer on the third one, then they're the asshole. Even though they've already asked you twice. Ireland's crazy, man.
It's the same about money though. If someone goes, will you take some money for doing that bit of work for me? No. Go on, no, and then the third time you have to put it in their pocket. That's the rule.
Or shake their hand. Shake their hand with the money. Yeah.
Hide it in the bag. Something. That's the rule. It's the rule.
Strange Irish people. So I'm there anyway, and I think it was like who came in? What the fuck was his name? Was it Percy or Sam? Sam Percy.
Brendan
Doesn't
Cathro.
matter. Some long distance uncle of mine anyway. He came in and giving out something. Oh, it was better in the old days. And she slammed down her knife and fork. No, it wasn't. It was terrible back then. We had no food. It was awful. We had meat once a week. And she turned around. Look at Patrick there. He has so many great opportunities. The world is so much a better place. Don't be listening to him, Patrick. Don't mind him. Don't mind him.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah, but she's right, though.
Yeah.
Everything was terrible a long time ago.
Yeah.
No. It's not golden age. It's nonsense. Oh.
Oh, Atlantis.
But the Greeks,
How dare you?
slaves.
Atlantis was perfect.
Slaves. No, wasn't good.
Yeah. Egypt, the one that we all want to go back to. Slaves. All of them. Slaves. Every single one of them. Used to kill people to go into the graves with the pharaohs. Kill people. They did that, yeah.
I suppose at least the Jewish slaves had abortion, though, because...
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't know. America. It's just so... My American friends, you're awesome, but it's just the kind of egregore of your country. It's just so strange. It's so strange. And it's like you go, Christian values. No, it's just, basic racism. Just basic racism. 6
arseholes wearing funny gowns deciding how people live. Yeah, okay, that's totally democracy right there. What?
Yeah, that thing you put up on Twitter yesterday about the woman talking about your man's book about why abortion has to be made illegal, because it means that perhaps white people won't have the majority of the population.
Yeah, she said there's 60% of all fetuses aborted are white. So the Conservatives need those babies to be born, so there's a white majority remains, and she proves it. She says it.
Yeah.
It's all there, written in black and white. I can't believe it wasn't a massive post on Reddit. It only had 5,000 or 6,000.
Well, have you? What is this called? The dead internet. Have you come across that idea? That I think it's called the dead internet, but something similar to that. Anyway, where the whole idea is that, say, things like Reddit there's 95% bots, all of it. And so that it's all dead, and so it's all manipulation, all algorithm, all of these things. So that you go, why isn't that higher? Because the 4 people who actually use Reddit, which is me, you, Max, and some other guy, all clicked up, and all the bots clicked down. And that's because that's not the agenda, and that's not the thing. And I kind of I do think we're interacting more with not real people than we probably realise. Like, it's easy to see it when you're like on customer support on Facebook to Sky, and you go, "You're not even human," and then you just keep repeating them. I want to speak to a human. I want to speak to a human, and you go, "Oh, yeah, I'm human." No, you're not, Steve 0046B. But it's like, I'd say I definitely would not be surprised if I have had arguments with things that were bots. Not anymore, because I just don't anymore. There was a thing on Facebook yesterday where someone put up a meme, and it was essentially spiritual bypass. Don't interrupt someone, don't help someone because you might be fucking up their karma. And I was like, oh, this is a dumb take. And then someone tried to school me, and I just went, oh, it's my own fault. It's my own fault for putting a comment on it. And I just went, have a great day, and deleted the entire thing.
I don't even sign into Reddit. I browse it virginally.
Yeah.
Don't even sign in. Obviously, you have to sign into Facebook, otherwise it won't open.
Yeah, I sign in just because it's handy to get to retconned and alternative history and all the fun places that I like to hang out on. Yes, what's going on with the mud flood today? Oh, the same as yesterday. Awesome.
The Mootrix, I presume you saw the Mootrix today. That's horrifying.
Oh, I didn't see that. I haven't been on Reddit today yet. So.
Oh, it's this drone footage of this massive fucking cattle farm in...
I'll be avoiding Reddit then.
I don't know, Texas, Alabama, one of those massive states where there's lots of cattle farming. And it's like... So you see it and it's zoomed in, and there's these 2 cows, and they're eating out of not a trough, something like a trough. And it's hanging on their gate, and you think, oh, there's 2 nice cows there, lovely. And the thing kind of zooms out and zooms out and zooms out, the drone, and it's just line and line and line and line and line of all these cows. And I'm watching her going, where's the grass? How are you not feeding cows grass, you dumb fucks? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like having a dog and not, I don't know, it's like having a dog and giving him a vegan diet or something. Fucking do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. It's not right. It's not natural.
My cat wants to be a vegan. No, he doesn't. He really doesn't.
What are you talking about?
Your cat will eat you, given half a chance.
Your cat killed 2 pigeons last week, and they're bigger than him.
Yeah. And he didn't even eat them. He just wanted to kill them.
It was horrible to see that. Look, I know people need meat, but like, Jesus Christ, would not a blade of grass. Like, they're just in these pens, and it's.
Yeah, but even in Ireland, though, you have to have the distinction between grass-fed cows and corn-fed, because it's not that they're not fed grass, but it's supplemented. That's the thing. So you see that sometimes they'll go in with the corn or whatever it is. Chicken's feed. I don't know what to feed cows. But so I mean there's a certain, I don't know, is it all grass? Are you allowed to have one meal a week of corn and still be grass fed? It's all, like that. It's that percentage of feces that it's allowed in milk that you should never know what it is. Yeah. Very strange. I had a rat in my house, Spud. It was very, very annoying, nice. As you can imagine. The thing about it, right, is that for like my cat's bigger, you know what I mean? So it's not the size, and there's just something weird about it. And I'll tell you, when I seen that it was a rat, it was kind of like, oh no, because like what do I do? So he was behind the. First of all, I'll tell the story. I was my wee man had called me in during the night, and I was sitting or lying in his bed. It's about 6 in the morning, and I could hear.
Sorry that I put the curse on your house, by the way. I didn't mean to. The joking about the mices and the heises.
Yeah.
It's just that shows you I'm not good at magic.
Yeah, and then he says, well, when the rat did turn up, he goes, oh, well, I'll make a pony come to your house. And a pony came on Tuesday, so.
Well, sometimes it works.
Yeah, sometimes. Both times it works. Just one time it was good. So I was hearing lots of noise, and there's because we were in like a dorm, or the birds, or you can hear it right on the roof if they're on the roof, whatever. That's a really noisy bird building a nest or something. And I went out to the window because it goes, oh, it must be open because if I can hear it that loud. And then the window was closed, and then I went, oh, hold on, that's in here. That noise is in the room. And then it's like his toy bus, Lego bus, just came off the shelf. And so I grabbed him, closed the door, went out. So we set all the mouse traps, all of those things, whatever, and I was going up and checking them, and it was clear that the mouse was just going clink, and then eating food. That's right. Then we kind of might be a big mouse, might be something going on. So when I went up, then I could hear something, and I looked behind, like beside the manifold for the heating. There was a bit of wood thing, and I just looked behind, and there he is, just.
Oh yeah.
5 or 6 inches, the tail, the whole lot. And I was going, and I just put the wood back very slowly. About what do I do here? Do I start kicking the shit out of the wood? And I was going, do I get something? And then he just flew under the bed. But by the time we'd seen that it was rat, it was too late to go. It was Saturday, 6 o'clock, something like that. So all the shops are closed. You can't get rat traps. And so what do we do? Let's ring a man. Let's ring a real man. We couldn't get a real man for ages. We had a guy from Drogheda then, 35 minutes, 40 minutes away, and he came with big traps. Really nice man. I was going, how'd you get into this? And he's going, doing it 20 years. No one else does it. So I said, I did it. And so it obviously doesn't annoy him. But big ass traps, tremendously unhumane. But although quick, I assume. You're not going to be hanging around like. He says could be 10 minutes, could be an hour, could be a day and a half before you get him. It was about half an hour after he left.
Are you giving a little gourmet pesto cheese?
No, Rolos, he says, are the best. Because
you're joking me.
Yeah, because they're sticky enough and they're attractive enough that they'll eat it, but that can't get it off.
That's genius.
Yeah. So we then got him, and it's horrifying too. At the same time, it's fucking just an animal, doing his thing.
He wasn't really doing anything wrong, like.
Not doing anything wrong. He has every right to this planet as I have. Same time.
But not to your house, though.
Yeah. I said, well, he does. He does know, but also you're in my kid's room. They're different rules here. They're absolutely different
just
rules.
For anyone that's not Irish, property law beats any other type of law. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
But you're a vegan. He was in my house. What? Are you not getting him? So just put him out in the field, whatever, the whole thing. But the next day we had to strip the room. Your man was saying basically everything that's in the room, burn it. I was going, well, I'm not burning all my kids' toys. Like, that seems like I'm punishing him. He says the problem is you can see all the poo, and man, there was a lot of poo. You can't see the piss. you can't see it. It's that's the thing. So we just had to pull everything out and just cleaned everything. Man, it was a whole day of just one room. But just my fucking stress level by that point, because before the rat came, I was actually burning on empty. I was like going, I've already gone past the point that I can cope with everything that's going on. And then a rat arrives just to. I was like,
just to teach you a lesson, Tommy. You know, that's what God does. You know?
Well, that's kinda. Like, it's not that the rat happened in order for to have a rat.
Oh.
But there is a feel of a right. I have to look at all of this now. It's within. It's the Magia thing. It's within the thing happening. There's the chance for you to sort something out. It's not happening in order for you to sort it out.
No,
within the bad thing happening, you have to.
You can use it as an opportunity.
Yeah, you can turn it around. You can spin it around. But but it just my energies just went, the whole thing, and gone, and patience lost, everything, and because the wee man, because we couldn't get a babysitter because another story. I'll tell you that tomorrow. It just involves other people, and that's not my business to say it in the podcast. And so before he touched something, go, will you stop touching things? You can't touch these things. And then we had to clean his hands, and then he'd go, oh, but what if I touch this? Oh, and then he started playing at the top of the stairs, and I was going, I can't deal with this, whatever. So anyway, I had a semi-nervous breakdown, and then didn't do anything for a week. Well, that's a lie. I cleaned both my office and my life. So it's the kind of thing I took it as, there's a rat in my house. It's like kind of, in Magi's, the House of God thing, which is the binding section. So like there was a rat in the House of God, so I had to kind of find where are the bits that I can get rid of the rat. That you can't get rid of the overall problem, but you can kind of get rid of little small things. Remember?
Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
In dream interpretation, if you dream of a rat, so if you dream of a rat that's in your house, I think that's what it has to be. It means that there's something bothering you that you're not taking care of.
Yeah, okay, right. Well, that lines up perfectly with that. That's what I took from it. Going like, what?
I was nearly driven mad. What age was I? It would have been 22, 3. I was having these reoccurring dreams of a rat, and was driving me fucking insane because like. I don't really remember all of my dreams that much anyway, and I even didn't back then either, but I was getting these recurring things that drove me mad. I remember, this is like, I don't think we had internet in the house or something. I remember going into an internet cafe and having to look up dream interpretation, what a rat is. And it says that there's something bothering you that you're not taking care of. And the next day I went to the doctor because I had something that was annoying me that I hadn't taken care of because I didn't want to go to the doctor in case I get bad news. And he's like, yeah, I don't know what it is, you're grand.
That's the Irishman thing. I can't go to the doctor in case it is that my leg is falling off.
Yeah. I'm going,
I can notice and it won't fall off. Yeah. But that's interesting then, because that's exactly what I took it as being. It's going like, there's a rat in my greater house. There's something infiltrated that it's causing me hassle or causing me upset or whatever. So it's kind of had a look at different things in my life that I was able to deal with. It's kind of similar to a couple of years ago I did a thing called the Stations of Your Own Cross, where around very significant parts of my life and tried to made an offering at a place where I was beaten up when I was a kid, and different places I lived, and tried to in some way do it like a soul retrieval where you're stuck in a particular place and trying to claim it back. So I found that I've stuck in a few places and successfully managed, I think, to claim them all back, or at least ended the drama involved. Not sorted things out. It's like one of them was involved in an issue from years and years and years and years ago, and it didn't solve it. I didn't get to sit down and talk to people and go, well, you did me wrong, and they apologise. It's just ended the drama where that, when you're walking down the street and there's someone you kind of had a falling out with years ago, and you kind of all across the street, or do I say hello, and it's all that bit is solved, where you just go, how ya, and they say how ya, and it's done. But because the content is irrelevant most of the time to all of these things. Anyway, it's not the content that's annoying you. It's the loose end or something. So,
yeah.
So I feel I did make a lot of headway in that. But that pops up for me every now and again, where it's just kind of there's a chokehold put on things and going, no, sort that out, because we're not going any further. And then it seems even after it, you can kind of feel the chi returning, man. Give positive vibes, but it's not. It's like the squeeze is the best thing. That's sounding like someone is doing the squeeze, and like some sort of external force, and that's not what I play. I think I get to the point where I can't go any further, and I have to look at it. It's the squeeze is me, or the greater me, whatever. But it's not. It's not God creating events in order for me to sort it out. Well, at least I hope not. That'd be a bit crap, but I don't think so. Bad things don't happen for you to learn. That seems. If that's the case, then it says an awful lot about the existence that I would rather not believe.
Yeah, no, but that's just the hero victim thing.
Yeah,
we all fall into from time to time. It's worth looking into that and seeing what that is, and then catching yourself falling into it.
Yeah. And it's kind of what happened with me. It got very kind of toxic in that. I kind of externalized everything, that it was any bad thing that happened that was a punishment, and it's like, oh, that's just a horrible place to end up, but a logical place to end up if that's what if you're believing that things are happening in order for you to grow, and you can only grow then through bad things, which is not the case.
It's interesting that you can, like, you can do that with, like, you kind of confront your past. I don't do that at all. Like, I just.
Yeah, but you mightn't have to. Like, you know what I mean? Might be.
There's a couple of things that still annoy me, but like for the rest of it, it's like I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say.
Is there things?
No, I think it's good that you're able to do that, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. And it's not that I don't think I'm not able to do that. It's just I'm kind of like, fuck it, it's so long ago.
Yeah, but it's a case of realizing that I'm stuck there, and that I can't get past. It's like, let me see, any number of people that are problematic. Say Julius Evola, right? So whatever, to pick a name, any name. Don't read into why I picked that name. It's just a name. And you can go, right, well, he has some weird thoughts about something, and okay, well, we can't listen to anything. You throw everything away because you're kind of stuck in this one point. And there's a similar kind of notion in that, is that you can kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater out of something complete, that you can't look at anything because it came from a certain source or certain thing. So if you apply that to your life, where you can kind of go, I don't know, your cousin John, who stole money from you when you were 15, and you dismiss everything John has ever done because of that, whereas you've had good times with John, and you had some great memories and some good things that you're not allowed to have, in a sense, because it's. And
he was only stealing money for heroin. I mean, that's okay.
I had to kill people, but it's fine. Other than that, he was a lovely man, nice car. But it's where you can be stuck, and there's no need to be stuck in that kind of. Or even things like with John was I don't know, he was into Star Wars, right? Whatever, and so you associate Star Wars or a band or something with him, and you can't allow yourself to like it, because then that's in some way allowing John to be right about something. It's all.
I can see John now walking around Wexford Town with a Matchbox 20 T-shirt on.
Yeah. Here's some more money for heroin. Yeah. So I would only say that the need for it is that if you feel you're stuck in something, so it's not. My need isn't to resolve the situation. It's my need is to be unstuck in the situation.
Yeah,
which is different.
That's
because you're not looking to be apologized to or any of that. It's just I don't want to have this in my head anymore. I don't want to argue this anymore.
But it's great that you can see the difference between it, though, because a lot of people would be like, no, I want this sorted out. I need that apology from 25 years ago, which is like, it's not really going to help Anthony.
No, and also from doing therapy and stuff like that, you're just not getting that.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. That's and
that's the thing. Yeah. Like, everyone has to learn, like, probably a good few times over their life. Like, I can't help my parents. No. And it's not my job to help them. So I can stop, and that's a huge lift off your shoulders. Just saying, I don't have that. I can live my life. Awesome.
Yeah. But what the hope sometimes is then that when you have this realization that your relationship will change necessarily with them, and yours might, but theirs to you won't. That can be a bit. Shit! I thought this was going to fall into place. No,
it doesn't. No, but that's all right.
That's all right. Yeah, but once you realize that, once you go past the horror of I think no, that's okay, because it's exactly what you say. I don't have to do this. And that's okay.
Exactly. Look at us. We're growing old.
Yeah. Right, just in time. We're coming up to the half-hour mark. So we're already 10 minutes late on our agenda. Irish lesson. Now, this week's Irish lesson is some people will actually probably be aware of one of the factors of this because it's brought up in The Invisibles by Grant Morrison, where they're talking about how emotions are things that come upon you rather than things you're... I am happy is what it is. Whereas in Irish, it's mostly happiness is upon me. So it's ta athas, which is happiness, orum, on me. And the same you would have with any kind of thing where you even would say ta tushuk orum, and that means you're tired. So tiredness is upon you.
Tiredness is on me, yeah.
Yeah. Ta tart orum, there's a tart on me, which just means you're tired, as you would be if there was a tart on you. But then the further one is that when you're exceptionally sad, say to brown orm, to brown on down orm, the sadness of the world is upon me.
That's so dramatic, isn't it?
So dramatic, yeah.
God almighty. Like.
Yeah. Be all right. No, the entire sadness of the world is upon me. Really, what happened? I locked myself out of the house. Sadness of the world.
I dropped the plate.
Yeah. The tea bag spilled on the ground. Although there is a way in Irish to say that I am happy in the same way you would say it in English, and it's tá mé sásta, but it's not definitely not as used as much, or at least it's
no. But
it is something like you hear like.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that one. Yeah, but yeah, it was the other one. Is the more usual one. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, ta athas orm, I'm happy. Ta brown orm, I'm sad. Ta ukras orm, I'm hungry. Ta ukras on down orm, oh Jesus, I'm starving, lad. So it's a nice one. It's an interesting one, and it's nice in that it's, although the world element of it is quite dramatic, it does separate you from the feelings you're having. In that it's it's not I am sad. There is a sadness. It's kind of like a mindful meditation where you're acknowledging. Oh, their sadness, rather than claiming it as your own. So I kind of like that. But it's quite dramatic. Irish people.
I'm trying to look up here, because since we're doing emotions, I'm looking up here. Yeah. I am horny. No, that's different. That's tá mé how do I say that? Tá mé adhara.
Easy for you to say, right? I must say that I'm
horny.
Horny.
But I thought it would be like it should be. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, that probably means I have
horns
coming out of me and stuff.
What's that? I'm sexy.
Sexy.
Sex is gnas.
Gnéasach. Yeah. Tá mé sexy. Brilliant. What's another word for horny? I am randy.
Randy. Yeah. In the mood.
Tá mé randamach.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. It should be randiness is on me.
Yeah.
Randy amachagum.
Yeah. I'm down, Oram. The randiness of the world is upon me.
And she lays down there waiting, with the sweat beading in her belly button, ready to be taken.
Yeah. Oh, the randiness of the world is upon me.
Oh, God. And you're there trying to remember the Star Sapphire. Margarita.
Yeah. 7 possessions. Hold on. What position are we in? What are we doing? Okay. So, Irish facts, which is related this week. It's Ireland has hundreds of accents. This kind of notion that Ireland has one accent, it comes from like Hollywood films. Now it's not so bad. We're allowed to have 2. We can have a southern accent and a northern accent. Yeah. It does seem to be distinguishing. But in the town I grew up in Dundalk, there's at least 4 different accents from there. Now, I assume that, because I know the further south I go in the country, the more northern my accent appears to them. That if I'm in Cork, they think I'm from Northern Ireland because of but just because it's closer.
They're stupid.
Yes, yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, people from Cork, boils. Yeah, at least 4 accents, and it seems that every 10 minutes in any direction there'll be a slightly different accent. And in the Dundalk, it's not kind of the same accent, but it's a very distinct different accents where you can, and a lot of it's to do with, I suppose, how do I say this generously? Possibly to do with economic class or education. But if you've gone to the grammar school, you have a very distinct accent, which is that kind of Protestant, I suppose, accent. But it's not. It's known as the Protestant school, but it's not. That's not really always the case. And I suppose there's kind of two big housing estates that have similar but different accents. It's kind of it's an interesting. Is it the same? Like you're probably from a smaller place, but I assume
everyone's accent in the village would be the same. But like if you go into the closest town, is 15 minutes away, Wexford Town. They have a very different accent from what people where I have.
Yeah.
Where I'm from have. And the same if you go in the other direction to the other town, up to New Ross. New Ross has a total scanger accent.
Right, yeah.
What's a scanger for our American listeners?
Scumbag.
No, but scumbag is too harsh in America.
Yeah.
Though.
So scanger would be more almost like a harmless scumbag. Just a bit of a, although not necessarily either.
Yeah, but a scumbag for an American is like isn't it kind of like a mafia or?
Oh, is it? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it has. So it's someone who wears tracksuits all day but never plays sport.
Yeah, probably
take crack.
Yeah, probably on
drugs.
social welfare, but because they don't want to work rather than they can't get a job. There's an element of that kind of. Although, like all of this is unfair because there's plenty of scangers who are lovely people who have great jobs, but it comes originally from, I suppose, from Dublin though, isn't it? Then it kind of emigrated out that kind of scanger.
Yeah, it's a horrible word, isn't it? Scanger.
Right, hold on one second. Each town in Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland has its own unique flavour. And unique flavours within those flavours, I would say. We have two official languages, the Irish language and English. And roughly 2% of people in Ireland can speak Irish.
2%?
2%.
Is that all?
That's shocking, isn't it? That's a shocking statistic.
That's awful.
But see, this is one of the missions of TaSTA, is of course to make you all Gael goers, which is Irish speakers, Gael whores.
I seen a really cool because the Pride stuff was now whenever, I don't know what it is. It's like a month in some countries, but in Warsaw, they had Warsaw hosted Ukraine's Pride. And I saw
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty cool because, like, fucking hell, usually when the Warsaw Pride is on, all the Legia Warsaw fans are out there throwing bottles and bricks and all that. And there was, as far as I could find now, I only found one or two incidences of hooligans, which is very good.
Yeah,
that's never been so little because obviously they're confused because they're like, well, we hate Russians, we hate the gays too. Fuck, who do we hate more? Russians, definitely Russians, like 100%. But anyway, the Irish embassy, they had all their staff show up and they had this deadly Irish shamrock with the Pride colours in it. I was like, fuck yeah, I want that T-shirt.
Oh, cool.
And then I said, I live in Poland, maybe I shouldn't wear that T-shirt, but I'd like to have it, So
there's some nasty things in Ireland and people have been beaten up and stuff. Pretty. You kind of think about kind of getting there in Ireland, particularly with our laws and stuff like that. But there's still scangers who will still beat up people.
Yeah. That's what scangers do. Scangers do antisocial things.
Okay. Let's get on to the fundamentals of magic. Is this number 4? Is it? We did divination, we did banishing. What else we do?
Should be crossing off what we're doing. Sigils, divinations. What are we doing today? Sigils, divinations, and what did we do last time?
Banishing, divination, and sigils, I think is...
Banishing, so I'll tick that off. So meditations today. All right, sounds, yeah.
Meditation, I will say, without being hyperbolic, is the most important thing in a magical practice. And it's the thing that most people want to avoid because at the beginning, it's a bit boring and a bit crap. And I know when I was kind of starting it, I found it very hard. Because you have to find here's the problem. You have to find a meditation practice that suits you, but you won't know what suits you if you keep chopping and changing things, particularly if you're chopping and changing within the practice. Well, so you'll find yourself, right, I'll start counting my breaths. That's fine. Yeah, I'm bored with this. Maybe I'll do some metta. Yeah, no, I'll do some Vipassana. And just, nope. Pick one for your entire session and then stick to it, at least at the beginning. But but you will find stuff that you more kind of will sit with you. My major problem, and I think it's a lot of people's major problems, was that I found that I was trying to make an awful lot of effort in my meditation practice. I felt very like, oh, I have to catch everything, I have to be super concentrated, and I have to catch it all, at the same time, keep my mind really still and holy and silent and monk-like and all of that. And that's only one form of meditation. It's not what I really, really like. And when I was doing it, I felt I didn't really get much where it's the concentration meditation. And if you read a book like Daniel Ingram's book, there's a lot in that, where he'll start talking about having to catch like 30 things a second and stuff like that, which I think is one of the reasons.
Bullshit.
Well, he might be able to do it, but I think it's one of the things where people think what actually Daniel Ingram has done is broke his brain by doing that kind of stuff, But, who might say? I don't know. I've never broke my brain in the same way he has. And he seems to have done all right with it. So when I kind of got away from putting so much effort on, even in the concentration practice of counting your breaths, where you just kind of chill out, you go, and if you find that, as often is the case, where you say, I'll count to 10, and then I'll go back to 1, and then you're there, and you go, 14, 15. And go, oh well, just start again, rather than, oh no, I broke the, where you just get so anxious trying to chill out, just kind of, but just bring it back. When you started meditation, what did you come up against? What was the hard thing for me?
I suppose I think the hard thing was the resistance of doing it, but then when I got into start doing it, then I really liked it, But I remember saying to you one time, I'd fallen asleep or something, and what was it? I remember I was getting a massage, and I kind of drifted off, and I remember seeing Keith Richards turned into a spaceship, and he was spiraling. And I thought, this is groovy, man. What the fuck? Is this what meditation is? I want to do this all the time, And then I had to say to myself, no, you don't, because this is journeying. It's not what you want to do, because that's not still in the mind. That comes later, So, but I think I'm lucky that I caught that early. I went, no, that stuff will come, all the cool shit, the woo, yeah, that's great. Yeah. But like I probably picked it up from Ingram's book or some other similar book, where it was like, look, the whole idea of Vipassana is that your mind is calm, and that when some bad juju does come along,
yeah, or good juju, any juju. No,
that's JUJU, okay?
Okay.
YouTube, if you're listening. All right.
Probably still problematic. I don't know.
It's that you're able to handle it.
Yeah.
Because you can just go back to your breath, and that you can just make that bad thing just be gone. Be gone. You don't even have to say it. You just go back to your breath. That's all. Yeah.
Name it.
And I'm lucky I learned that quickly, because I know people have had horror stories trying to get in meditation stuff themselves. But I mean, I had you. I was really lucky. Anytime I had a question, you knew the answer. Or
at least claimed I did. Yeah.
Puts the lotion on the skin.
Yeah. Just put the lotion on your skin. What are you doing? I think another kind of pitfall people have at the beginning is when you hear, I can't meditate, I just can't keep my mind still at all. I couldn't just sit there.
Then you definitely need it.
Thinking that there's some sort of special people who can just sit there going, I just needed to sit here. The whole point of meditation is that you become aware how badly you can't keep your mind still. But what I'm talking about, the effort, I suppose, is more the kind of chastising yourself, or the trying really hard not to think of things, which is not conducive to any of this. It's actually the opposite of what you're trying to do. It's, as you were saying, okay, so you're there counting your breaths, and if you notice you've got to 14, or if you notice you're thinking about the electricity bill, or having an argument with whoever, you just, rather than giving out to yourself, we're meant to be doing this, you just go, okay, just start again, go back. And also, the bit of realizing you've lost and bringing yourself back, that is the meditation. That's what you're trying to do. It's every time bring yourself.
The awareness.
It's the awareness of it. So every time, and what happens is you go, I used to be much better at this though. Because I would go a whole 20 minutes and there'd only be 3 or 4 times when I'd lose. And now there's 40. You go, no, you're just better at it. You were doing loads of it before. You just, you're just catching it more and catching those things. But I think that if you're trying to start a meditation practice, I think that probably something like counting your breaths is probably the easiest way to start, because it gives you something to focus on. That you know where to start. Again, if you go wrong, there's plenty of ways where you've gone out of the meditation practice. Whereas with something like, say, Zazen, which is I did as well, which I really annoyed me, and it's probably designed in a way.
Supposed to.
Yeah. There is a kind of there is a posture that goes with it. Now there's arguments over whether that's totally necessary or not, but let's say in an ideal world you do the exact Zazen posture and you just eyes open, staring at a wall or staring at a dot or something, and kind of thing is, and then what? No, that's it.
That's it.
And go, yeah. And what happens if you just go back to your posture and staring at the wall? But I found that very, very hard, because again, I was just putting too much effort into it, kind of thinking, what should I be thinking? No. What should I be doing? No.
Wrong again.
Wrong, yeah.
That's when the your man, the dojo comes along and
hit you. Just hit you. Yeah. Throws a shoe at you or whatever it is. The classic saying, throwing a shoe. Yeah. So it's just that that's not to say that it isn't, as you're saying, there's an effort to be put into it. It is a practice, it's a thing that you have to show up and you have to do and you have to keep at it. It's not for me to say that it's not, I put less effort into it. It's less forced effort into it. It's a letting go. It's allowing things to be, but doing the practice as whatever the practice is, without, I don't know, putting a mental strain on yourself. Or, it's like the great thing about the Zazen thing is that awakening and Zazen are exactly the same thing. There's no difference. You just show up, you practice. That's it. You're practicing enlightenment. You're practicing satori. There's no goal. You're not sitting there to try and get something. You're not doing it for a particular reason. You're just doing it. And there's a nice kind of cultivation in that. I suppose the thing we should do is go through the different ones and explain what got the kind of I have some written down here. The one that is the Google meditation that everyone knows now is the mindful meditation, which is it comes in many forms. Mostly it's the counting one, counting your breaths, or just being aware of your breath without counting them. The in and out, just in, out, or whatever it is. And it seems it's touted, I suppose, as the safest meditation because it has this kind of relaxing quality to it, and it's, in theory, according to Google, shouldn't lead to anything. Because let's take it out of context of where it comes from, and just put it into how to. To improve doing a job you hate. Let's move it into this arena. But that there is kind of notion that it doesn't lead to kind of anything negative or whatever. People have pushed back in that, particularly people like, as we mentioned before, Daniel Ingram, where I was going, this kind of notion of taking the context out of it, taking that it's all good, that there's nothing negative, is probably not great, because there is some people who are going to have the dark night of the soul stuff come out of it. And even the stuff that's kind of designed for that, for just relaxation, reducing anxiety, all of that kind of stuff. It's the same. It's like your intention might be different, but it's the same process. So you're still likely to end up in a weird territory, maybe. And if you have taken all of that out of it, all of the teaching, all the context and all that surrounding it, you've no one who can help that person within that situation if they're having some sort of weird thing. Now, it's unlikely, but it's going to happen to some people. There's no question. So the mindfulness thing as well, it can be really helpful. I found not mostly, but outside of the meditation practice, where you catch yourself in the middle of an argument in your head with someone quicker. You go, oh, stop it. And even if you do end up continuing it, you're indulging it. That you may have to make a conscious choice to go, oh no, I'm going to enjoy this argument, or whatever it is. Or you catch yourself quicker before you rise to anger, or you catch yourself doing these things just because you're aware. It's literally, you're more mindful of these things. You have a bit more of an understanding.
Like even after as well, like even after you've lost your temper, and then a minute or two later saying, okay, okay, I'll try not to do it anymore.
Yeah. So it's the mindful thing, and that's if you only ever got that out of it, and there was no kind of the spiritual stuff with it. That's great enough, to catch how you work, catch yourself, and see how your brain works and stuff like that, or how how so much of what you do is a habit, or
it's a habit or a reaction. It's not,
or it's just the path you've burnt, that you've trodden so much often that it's just the easiest, the least resistant path you go on and stuff, and you catch yourself going, and then you start thinking and go like, you'll have a thought, and then you go, hold on, that's not even my thought, that's my mother's thought. And you start seeing all this kind of stuff, and that can be interesting. It can go, I've thought that for 20 years, and I don't even believe it.
Yeah. Of course.
Then I suppose the next kind of mindful thing you have is like a focused meditation, where you have rather than just your breath, you can it would be like the Zazen thing, you're focusing on a particular point, but a lot you get candle stuff, like people focusing on candles. There's a couple of different ways of doing that. When you're doing like the casino stuff that Duncan Barford or Daniel Ingram talking about, that's a different way you're trying to cultivate something, but in a very strict kind of just looking at the candle, and every time you move away, to think about, I don't know, the football, you just bring yourself back to the candle. So it's the same as the breathing thing, although you're looking at it on an external thing. I never really got into that because it starts burning into my eyes, that kind of retina stuff, and I just don't like that, which is what you want to happen in a sense for the beginning of the casino stuff, because you want to take that external thing internal, and
you want to see some groovy shit, like.
Yeah. But supposedly the Persian magic stuff is all about the flame. Persian meditation magic, whatever, according to Stephen Flowers, anyway. And it's candle focus, whatever, because it's seen as that's the conduit that you're looking through the flame to see whatever.
Okay.
So it's it's as a conduit thing. But again, that's a different. What else? Breath, candle, spot on the wall. I suppose there's anything you couldn't ascend to sound. You could definitely concentrate on the sound. Every time you stop hearing the drumming, you go back to the drumming or whatever. Loads of different ones like that. Zazen talked about, which is the Zen stuff. It's worth trying Zazen. Some people love it, and it's really nice kind of flavour to it. But if I want to get annoyed with myself and quit and absolutely give up a meditation practice, I can do that.
I don't need to sit in a yoga pose that I don't like doing to do that. I can just do that.
I can already hate myself. It's fine. It's just the one I suppose a lot of people come to is this kind of notion of guided meditations, where people either talk you through a body relaxing thing, or if you've ever gone to any kind of retreat or something, or my mum used to do all these courses that were self-improvement courses, or even now you get them if you go to like FOSS or some sort of unemployment thing, and they send you on a course. There'll be a lot of this kind of meditation stuff brought into it, and it's usually this kind of guided. I remember when I FOSS years ago, whatever, and we were doing this computer course, and this woman came in, and she ended up having to apologize to us and everything. She was trying to she'd do all these meditations and get us to talk about our feelings, and people were just losing it, going, I just want a job with computers or whatever, but like totally inappropriate. And your man, who when he found out the guy was running it, he lost his life. He was like going, this is not. He's going to drag her in to apologise for him. You're all right. That's just making it worse. But so it comes up in all of these kind of things. But it'll be like, now that we've relaxed, we're going to go into a garden. There's a wall around the garden. How does that wall look to you? Is it tall? Is it short? Is there graffiti on it? Is there a large cock drawn? And you go into the garden.
Black, it's all black.
It's like it's raining razor blades. What's going on? And you go in and you find a fountain, and the fountain's really your use. So if the fountain was all dried up, all this stuff. Getting close. It's just some of it. I just want, and see yourself surrounded by a bubble of energy. This is your protection. Yeah, big guy with big foot. Just go right through that bubble. No problem. You see a lot of that, okay. It's when we were doing Reiki, there was a lot of it, and it's just kind of going, this fountain represents whatever, your mother. Why? I know it because that's what we decided. Yeah, but if I didn't know that previously, why would I think that's?
Yeah, it's just a fountain. You've ruined fountains for me now.
It's actually representation of a fountain. But so you're getting a bit into journey and stuff as well, but it's more led from an outside voice. And I like the idea of it, but it was always kind of, you go, can you just go on my speed, because he's going to look at the wall. He goes, I've looked at the wall. Now, can we move on? And then sometimes, I'm looking at the wall. Fuck off the fan.
I find that too. And any guided stuff I did was like, it's too slow.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up. Yeah.
What the hell?
And then put it on twice the speed.
Imagine you're on the beach. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, imagine the waves crashing. Yeah, got it.
Spend five minutes with the waves.
Seriously, how is this difficult?
What's that word that people can't make the visionary stuff? There is a word for it. Be not as if you can't do it, whatever that word is.
Yeah, well, then don't do guided meditations.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
I mean, like, if you're colorblind, you're not going to wear a pink T-shirt.
Why not?
Have I got that wrong? What am I saying? Talking to my arse here. The fucking heat of this place. Yeah. If you're lactose intolerant, you don't drink milk. There you go.
Yeah. But you do, don't you? You just suffer the
eat
consequences.
Cheese on the side when everyone's gone to bed.
Vipassana is what you were talking about before. There is a kind of a confusion I found with Vipassana. Some people describe it as the noting technique, and some people describe it the way you have. So I don't know which one is right. I'm going to assume you're right. And keep them separate. So Vipassana is, rather than naming it, it's not. It's you just you see it and let it go. Don't interact with it. Don't feed it any more energy. Don't, if you start the argument, stop the argument, but not pushing it away. Like, no, it's not dealing with it. It's just, there it is. Let it just keep going. Where I suppose the noting thing is more a bit like the fire practice from Magia, where you're just lying there and you go, oh, computer hum, car outside, pin in my stomach. Oh, a bit bored.
My uncle punched me when I was 14. Where'd I come from?
Oh no. Feelings of hurt, betrayal, deep sadness, tears on my cheeks.
Hurt, betrayal, revenge, avenge.
Yeah. So
I am the crow.
Make a movie about me. Avenge my dad. No load of guns on set, please. Yeah. So yeah, there is a slight difference, but I have seen Vipassana described as not meditation, and I have seen it not. You only ever describe it as not that, so I assume. I've been.
You do the note, and you do noting, and then you move on to.
Is that right? Okay. That would make sense.
I think that is what I would have done.
Okay.
Start with the noting, and then when you're able to, when you got that down good enough, then you can move on to just doing it.
Yeah, Daniel Ingram, what is 20, 30 things a second? This is, you stop naming it, but you just pop, you pop it. Yeah, you acknowledge it, kind of.
Yeah.
Because you're not saying 30 things a second. Like deep sadness, betrayal, uncle.
The way I would try and visualize it when I was doing it at first was that every thought was just a dust on the wind thing. Just
right. Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't blow it away, it blows itself away.
Yeah.
It's just wind.
By not engaging with it. Yeah. Just there it is.
When I'm usually doing it, I just focus on the feeling on my nose. That's
or the tip of your nose going in and out or something. Yeah.
That was the one I found from kind of older stuff. I don't know if it's from newer.
Well, Duncan talks about it in the Baptist Head. He did. That's what he does a lot.
I like that. I find that easier than even counting. I wouldn't be bothered counting 1 to 10. I just go 1, 2, 1, 2. That's anyway.
Yeah.
It's 10, yeah.
But I suppose the idea with the 10 is that there's a longer arc of the concentration. So if you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you can't go right around, but 1, 2, 3, 4, you've a longer time.
I suppose,
but it's essentially the same thing. Because I guarantee you, even when you're doing 1, 2, 1, 2, you've often gone to 6.
Oh God, yeah.
So strange. Next was contemplative prayer, or there's another way to pronounce that, but it's contemplative prayer. So it's like
contemplative.
That's it. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Spud.
Photographer.
Yeah, photographer. A contemplative prayer where you contemplate. A lot of that comes out of Father Thomas Keaton's kind of idea. He has this, and it's a bit like a mantra meditation. But it's where you say something to engage the process, and then you let it be, and then when you find out you have gone completely off the rails or thinking about whatever, you say this thing again, and it's not necessarily you get to pick the word, you know what I mean? And it should be something he says that resonates with you, but not something so much that has already, you know, very distinct connotations. So things like holy is okay, but like the Holy Ghost probably isn't, because, you know, there's something. Or moving towards the Holy Ghost is better because, you know, that means something to you. And of course, that's then where the Alan Chapman got his HGA process thing as well. It's the very, very similar, where it would be, I consented knowledge and conversation with my holy guardian angel, and then you allow that, and then when you find that you have gone off track, you reaffirm your statement of intent or whatever. So
that makes sense, because that's based on like what the old monastics used to do in the desert. Like they would take a passage of usually a psalm from the Bible, and they would just repeat it and then let kind of thoughts happen, and then if it kind of steered too far away, then they'd come back and repeat it, and that's what they done until they found God.
That's it. Yeah. So contemplative, is that right? Am I doing that right? Contemplative prayer differs from mantra meditation in that it's said once aloud, and then only if you have. Yeah. Whereas mantra meditation, like something like TM, which is transcendental meditation, which is a bit culty, but that's probably the most well known. It's not a bit culty; it's an actual cult. Come on,
just totally culty. Yeah.
So it's either you're given a mantra by someone you've just give 200 quid to, or whatever it costs these days. And this, when you go into meditation, you're saying this word over and over again. So it's like the breath, only instead of you coming back to counting the breaths or whatever you're doing, the sensation on your nose, you come back to the words that you're doing in your head. Differs on what people think. Should it be a word that makes any sense, or should it be a word that is a nonsense word? You know, should it be something like I think at TM, it's a particular word that's given to you that's meant to resonate with you. It's based on your birthday and some other stuff. But it turns out there's only 10 words or something anyway. So it can't be that, you know, fitting to you. And on the internet, if you want to see them. You know, whereas other people say that, you know, you could constantly repeat Ganesha or something like that, you know, something that has a very distinct meaning or whatever. It depends, you know, on what you're doing, but I think both ways are valid. It depends on what you want, what you're trying to achieve, what your intention is, whatever. Are you trying to cultivate something in one way, or are you trying to tune out and chill out? And but you see, no matter what nonsense word you use, if you use, I don't know, even a made-up word, that's eventually going to resonate with you. If you do it long enough, it's going to mean something to you. So, you know, it's, you know, it's your meditation word. It'll be a kind of a sacredness to it or something if you do it long enough. So,
you know what? These are handy. These I have little prayer beads I wear on my wrist.
Oh yeah,
like them. Or they got mala beads, isn't it?
Mala beads or japa beads. I think japa beads have to have 108 though. I think that's
This is oh Jesus, 32. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Riveting radio. The latest TaSTA. Yeah. Spud counted to 32.
Well, there's 26 and then the one in the middle.
Okay.
I used to do little stuff like that. I remember in one of the Ram Dass books where he kind of like, he's like, yeah, look, you have permission to make up your own. And I was like, what? I can make up my own mantras? I don't have to I don't have to learn off the Hindu Kali mad stuff. So like, I would just like hold that on my finger, just say it. It's like, Kali, 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 and then count the next one, Kali, Kali. That was it. And just do that. Set your timer for half an hour and just do that.
Yeah.
You know?
I've done the Maha Mantra once, which is the, you know, Hare Krishna one. Although, I mean, it's not the only Maha Mantra one. It's just the Hare Krishnas have decided to claiming that. I did the Gam Ganapataye Namaha one. I did that for a long time. You will get into the same frustration you'll get into with meditation, in that you'll start getting bored, you start doing, you know, you start trying to, maybe I'll do a different mantra, and all this kind of same. But so it's activating the same principle. The Hindu thing though is they would say that the mantra of the god is exactly the same thing as the god. You know, that come from Tantra. Right, so there is an element of that the yantra, which is the symbol, the mantra, the pictorial thing, and the tantra of the god are all exactly the same thing. So when you are chanting Hare Krishna, that's actually Krishna.
Yeah.
There's no difference. So again, it's get what you're. But I suppose at that point you're getting more into devotional stuff, though, right? That would have to be rather than just a strict meditation practice, which is fine because because the next thing is meta meditation, which is essentially it's a devotional, heart-based, loving kindness, all of that kind of stuff. It's one of my favorites meditations, and in a sense, it's kind of in one way an opposite direction of what you do with a lot of the other ones. Whereas you kind of meditation can quite be a contraction in particular. I'm counting my breaths, I'm saying a mantra. It's very particular thing you're looking at. Whereas
because you're learning to unfocus your mind so that stuff can come up and just be gone. You know. Whereas meta is like
you're actively going in this kind towards something, towards people or towards yourself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to describe meta? Because I know you're a fan too. You like it.
Geez, everyone likes meta, don't they? Surely you can't do meta and not like meta. Meta's great. Yeah, it's just like you start off with. Actually, I found something on an old phone the other day. I had written. Me and Aga had been driving somewhere, and someone had cut me off, and I was annoyed. She said something because there's a meta that I had shared with her, and we were both fucking take the piss out of each other, kind of thing. What was it? Let there be. May you be at ease. This is exactly the way he'd say it. And we were driving one day, and this arsehole trying to cut me off, and Aga said to me, what did I just say? Let them be at ease, or just be at ease. And that evening, I wrote down in my phone, like it came to my head like a driving thing. Like may you get there in one piece. May you arrive well.
May all your lights be green.
Yeah, something like that. Like, but no, man, it's great because you start off with just thinking about someone you know and someone you love, and just sending them a bit. And then you pick someone who you would see from now and again. It's usually the postman. Or someone who works in Lidl or one of the grocery shops or whatever. And so you'll notice,
you'll have to change that person after a while because
start liking them too much.
You start having the relationship changes. Fucking postman, love the postman.
and then you send it to someone you don't like or who you've had issues with in the past, and that's a hard one at the start. It is. That takes getting used to, because the first couple of times you're listening to I suppose you have to do that. You have to do that one as a guided meditation, but you're not being brought anywhere, kind of thing. Well,
a bit to start, I suppose, or at least have a timer where it's going off every 5 minutes or something, so you know.
Yeah, so you know to change the focus. Yeah, and it's the first couple of times you kind of laugh and you're just like, nope. And then you pick someone for the hell of it, and you're like, they're an arsehole. Why am I doing that? But then you see the point of it eventually. You're like, well, no, like, he's an arsehole because there's reasons. You know what I mean? He treated me that way for a reason. I didn't treat him that well either, so I'm over that. So you know what? Hope your life's going well. That's all it has to be, like something like that.
And not excusing the behaviour, not making it.
No, like that. Yeah. And then depending on which one you kind of use, then, and there's the one at the last one, and is for yourself and for is to bring all of those those three together, and then add yourself. And then you can extend it out then to like everyone.
To all beings.
All beings. Yeah. It's like, you're just fucking full of love after it. Like, this is deadly. Why isn't everyone doing this? Like,
Some people start with themselves, and that I can understand why that sometimes get moved to the end, because that can be really hard for people. In the way that it can be hard to send love to say someone who's difficult, it can be as hard or sometimes harder to do it. So by the time you get to the bit at the end, it could be easier.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does start with yourself.
Yeah. That's the way I learned anyway. What you're saying makes perfect sense though.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely practice, and it's one of those ones that it seems to even change, like that thing about, say, the postman or whatever, because that's definitely happened to me with the postman, where they seem to get warmer to you and more friendlier, and so the point where you can't use them in that place of someone who it's an incidental person in your life that to stop being incidental. And it's very strange, you know. You kind of, it's like, all right, so I have to change. I have to get someone who, because now I know your name, you know, or something. You know, you end up having this kind of. It's very strange, but it's a lovely one for opening up the heart chakra, and sometimes can be quite emotional. Almost not sad strongly, but emotional probably, where you can be like, say you're sending it to your kid or something like that, and you can just, there can be an awful lot of it there that can be a bit overwhelming or something, you know.
Yeah, or like someone you haven't thought about in a while, like a dead relative or something like that. Yeah.
Definitely, it's one of my favorites, and it's, I suppose, the beloved from Majid is a bit like that too. There's certain crossovers. It's not quite the same, but that's a bit more devotional. Yeah, it's a more devotional practice. And I suppose the devotional practice would be that you're turning that kind of meta practice only towards divinity per se, and usually sometimes a particular flavor of divinity, like Ganesha or Mary, the Mother of God, or whoever it is that you know. It's that kind of thing. And then I suppose the last ones that I have on my, well, I'm sure I've missed some, but the last ones I have on my list is the journey in visualization, the active imagination, scrying stuff, that kind of visionary element of stuff. That again, there's a cultivation involved in that. Like some people, you're not going to jump straight into that, and some people, as I said, can't do it at all. But it's like, I think people, even if they don't have a visual ability, there's still going to be a way that you can process something like that. Like you still, if you've no visual thing where you go think of a wall, there's still some recognition of what a wall is in your head. There has to be, I assume, you know, so that you could still probably move towards that, even if you're not actually physically seeing a wall, or in the active imagination kind of sense of hearing things, feeling things, you know, just your other senses. But for most people, or a lot of people, you can visualize these things. And the idea, I suppose, of journeying is that you're going somewhere on a journey to find something out and to bring something back with you, some sort of wisdom or some sort of information, or, you know, to go back. What was that dream about? Excuse me. So you can do a meditative practice where you go back into the dream or back into a particular period of your life or some sort of situation in order to try and understand it a bit better. Whereas I suppose with the active imagination, with the young stuff, it was more visionary of he just really allowed whatever was going to show up, which can be quite interesting. For him, quite horrifying in some of the stuff he's seen. But the visualized stuff, if you want, I suppose the new age version of that is you start visualizing your life has been great, or, you know, things working out, which I suppose is, in one sense, it's not that dissimilar to meta. If you're kind of sending love to a situation or something, you know, it's. I have a natural tendency to, I suppose, to kind of scoff at the new agey type things where it's, it'll all work out. 'Cause, you know, it doesn't always, but it doesn't not always too, you know.
Well, it doesn't, because you end up dying. So, you know.
Yeah. And everyone you know is also going to get sick and die. It's not strange.
And water, you should never drink water, because it's been scientifically proven that anyone and anything that has ever drank water has died.
Yeah. Shocking when you hear these things. The lies you've been told about all of this. So am I missing any? Were you thinking
no,
any
I
along
can't.
the way?
Look, you can dip your toe into like middle pillar and stuff like that, but I wouldn't start off with them. No,
and people say, start off with the, you know, a banishing, you know, pentagram ritual or whatever. Start with meditation. It's like the one thing people, what should I do with my practice? What should I, you know, do I having problems? All that. I would also say, do you meditate? Like, I mean, it's so helpful. And
just
so
sit down alone, even 10 minutes. That's all. And if your mind races, that's fucking brilliant.
Brilliant that you noticed it. Yeah,
because you're saying, well, shit, my mind's racing. It's like, do you know, years and years ago, Aggie gave out to me one time about me listening to too many. Always having earphones. I'd walk the dog, earphones. I'd go to Tesco, I'd have earphones. Wherever I'd be taking the bus, commuting, earphones, just because I was listening to 3 or 4 football podcasts a day alone. Because then all the other stuff as well I used to listen to, and it's like you have this. It was around the time that this notion of FOMO came around, this fear of missing out, which I had, you know. My mind was racing all the time, just overloaded with information, and like learning not to do that was fucking changed a lot for me. It's great. Look, I don't need to listen to all the podcasts. I'm nuts in here. I can really entertain myself. I don't need this extra stimulation of tons of. You should always listen to our podcast, obviously.
Yeah,
but
obviously,
no one else.
obviously, yeah.
Listen to Duncan Barford's.
Yeah.
Right, that'll do you. 2.
Yeah,
you only need 2 podcasts in your life. Dan Carl. I even forget his name.
The history one.
Hardcore History.
Yeah.
Dan Carlin. That'll do you. That's fine. You know, he does an audiobook like once every 2 months anyway. Yeah, no, but I think stuff like that does make a massive change. Like this fear of missing out stuff. Just you're always bombarded with stuff. You're always looking at your fucking phone and whatever. Just,
or that thing of you have to be productive at all times.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to an audiobook to learn. All that. Just
taking that first break of starting with a 10-minute meditation of just letting your mind just. It's great. It's really healing.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
It really is. And then you can get on top of it, and then you can focus on your breath, and then do it for longer and meet Sophia and Jesus and Raphael and Metatron and all these crazy band of Beatles. And you'll have a good time, and it's good fun.
Yeah, just do it. No excuses. Just do it because it's only beneficial.
It's only beneficial. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Giant pain in the hole some days, but some days it's like a refuge and a sanctuary. And
do you have a best time to do it or anything like that?
I'm not a morning person at first. My brain is in a different thing, which is probably why I should do it in the morning to kind of chill before. I'd love to be the person who gets up at 6 and meditates.
What do you mean? You're at your most kind of creative in the morning.
Yeah, my brain wants to do stuff.
Meditate then. No. Well then.
That's it. I'd love to be the person who gets up at 6 and meditates for an hour and gets like, no, if I get up at 6, I want to get my to-do list done. So it's like when I have the majority of what I need or want to do for the day, then I can sink into
it. Yeah. I used to do it in the mornings, and then with the writing and all that, the deadlines were changed to the morning, so I just can't do it now. But I'll try and do it around noon, ish. And I for some reason it seems to go better if I've been fasting before as well.
Oh well, I mean, of course, because like every single book that has ever been written about magic or any of these things, so you should fast before you do these things. You know that? All right, okay. It's just the same. I suppose it's you're not engaging your parasympathetic nervous system. If you've eaten, then you're in that. Like the Sunday dinner thing, where you eat it too much and you want to go to sleep. It's because that's the part of your body is switched off. So if you're not engaged in that, then even from that kind of scientific.
Just the reason. I didn't know this was the reason. Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, but there's other woo reasons as well, of course. But that's the physical reason why fasting works for stuff like that.
I don't know if I should call it fasting. It's just I haven't eaten my breakfast yet.
Well, it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. That's exactly it. It's like
breakfast often becomes lunch.
Yeah, because you haven't break. You fast.
Yeah.
Get it.
What's the joke I told you yesterday?
Oh man, I was both insulted for everyone in the world and also so proud of you. It was like
okay. I'm gonna have to tell it now. So yesterday, I what was it? Jason is screaming at his screen now. Remember this? Spud, you're an idiot.
Yeah, so you told a joke about.
Yesterday I told my Bermuda Triangle joke. So stupid. I lost the crowd.
Thanks very much for listening, TaSTA. That's us for another week. Not too bad. We only went 20 minutes over our allotted time, so that's pretty good for us. Yeah.
Peter Kingsley.
Bye.